Once upon a time, in a big city filled with many tall buildings, cars, and beautiful houses, there lived a very rich young woman named Dabira. Dabira Adeyemi was the kind of woman you once saw and never forgot. She was stunning, elegant, and carried herself like loyalty. Married to Chief Afolabi Adeyemi, one of the richest men in Nigeria, her life glittered with gold, private jets, high-end vacations, diamonds, and a mansion that looked like a castle. But for all her wealth and beauty, Dabira had one major flaw: her mouth. She doesn't know how to speak to people nicely. She was blunt, brutal, and boastful, especially to those she believed were beneath her, and to her, almost everyone was beneath her. Her childhood friends, who still lived in the slums of Ajegunle, were often victims of her tongue. Mayowa, why does your son always look like he baths with gutter water? No wonder he's always sick. Dirty mother, dirty child. She scoffed during a visit. Mayowa smiled weakly and took the 50,000 naira Dabira gave her afterward, wiping away silent tears. It was always the same: insult first, money later. She belittled people in front of others, mocked her housemates, insulted her in-laws, and treated everyone like a pest she could shoo away with her designer shoes. One day, she said to her mother-in-law during one of her visits, "Mama, why do you constantly smell like Iru Ogiri? After all the spa you do with our hard-earned money, you still stink." Her mother-in-law, Madam Gloria, would look at her and smile. "My dear, when you come of age, you will understand why some things are just the way they are." God forbid, Dabira would scoff as she would round her hand around her head. "I can never smell when I grow old. This is why I don't always bring my kids to visit you. I don't want them infested." Dabira believed her riches gave her the right to look down on the world. One rainy afternoon, Dabira was on her way back from a spa appointment, driving herself for once. As her black Range Rover rolled through a muddy road, an elderly woman walking beside the roadside was drenched by the splash of dirty water from Dabira's tires. The woman stumbled, her wrapper soaked, her groceries ruined. Instead of stopping to help or apologize, Dabira rolled down her glass, looked at the woman with disgust, and spat her usual venom. "Why are people like you always walking on the road like goats? This is why poverty will never leave your life." The old woman looked at her, wet, humiliated, heartbroken. She said nothing, but her trembling lips whispered a curse. "You have mocked the wrong person. Your tears will flow like this rain. May you taste helplessness the way I have tasted it today." Then she looked up and said, "God, judge this woman. Let her see the pain she has caused many with her sharp tongue. Let her know that words can destroy." Dabira laughed, hit the accelerator, and zoomed off. But the rain didn't stop that day. Neither did the curse. 2 months later, Dabira's life began to change terribly. It began with a fever. Her youngest child, Koinsola, became sick. Then came rashes, vomiting, and fainting spells. She was rushed to a private hospital. The doctors couldn't explain what was wrong. They ran tests. Nothing made sense. Before the week ended, her second child, Korede, fell ill with the same symptoms. Then her first son, Afolabi. All three were in critical condition. Dabira was terrified. She cried, flew in specialists, tried traditional remedies. Nothing worked. In her panic, she began snapping at everyone, even her husband. Afolabi, already weighed down by business stress, slowly began withdrawing from her. Then came the second blow. Her luxury fashion line, the Lux Empire, which had gained international attention, caught fire. The warehouse was reduced to ashes. A week later, one of her husband's oil tankers exploded mysteriously. Another property burned in Banana Island. Within 2 months, their wealth began to crumble. Then came the final blow. Afolabi and Akorede died, back to back. Dabira screamed. She wailed. She tore her clothes and lay on the hospital floor. The once proud queen was now begging nurses and doctors to wake her children up. but they were gone. Only her last daughter, Koinsola, survived, but even she couldn't speak, couldn't eat, couldn't move. And then Chief Afolabi left. He couldn't take it anymore. The once powerful couple was broken. Dabira stopped going out. Her mansion, once full of laughter, was now filled with silence and the echoes of weeping. One day, our old friend Shade came to visit. When she saw Dabira's condition, she was shocked. "Dabira," she said, "this is not ordinary. Let's go to a spiritual church." Dabira agreed without thinking twice. She took her to Pastor Elijah, a quite powerful man known for his spiritual discernment. After prayers, he looked at Dabira and said, "Your problems came from your own mouth. You have hurt many people with your words. There is someone you wronged, and their pain has become your curse." "But Pastor," she said, "I have wronged many people, even my family members. I don't even know where to start." The pastor gave her a pen and a notebook and said, "Start writing the names of those you remember." When Dabira got home that night, Dabira wrote and wrote until a full book was filled. She looked at the list and started to cry again. I have been a terrible person," she whispered. The next day, Dabira began to visit everyone she had offended. Some people had moved away. Some didn't want to talk to her, but she kept on begging. She would cry inside her car, begging God to forgive her. After a whole week of visit and begging, she went back to the pastor. "Pastor," she said in tears, "I have begged everyone I could remember. Where else could be left?" The pastor gave her some psalms to read and a bottle of anointed water. "Sprinkle this in your house and your bedroom tonight," he said. "Then sleep. God will show you who you need to apologize to." That night, after reading the psalms and sprinkling the water, Dabira lay down and slept. In her dream, she saw a small girl, Adiola, sitting in a graveyard crying. Dabira walked close and asked, "Adiola, why are you crying?" But the little girl didn't speak. She just cried and cried. Dabira woke up suddenly, frightened. She knew the child. She was Amaka's daughter. She rushed to Pastor Elijah the next day. "Pastor, I saw a girl crying in the graveyard. Her name is Adiola. She's my friend's daughter." The pastor looked at her for a few seconds, closed his Bible slowly and said, "It is time. Let's go." They found Amaka living in a small Face Me I Face You apartment on the outskirts of Lagos. The moment she saw Dabira, she exploded. You dare come here after what you did to me and my family?" Pastor Elijah raised his hand. "Please, she has come for peace." But Amaka was boiling with rage. But after some minutes, she agreed to speak. Amaka began a painful story. "Dabira, I used to see you as a sister. But when I married a poor man, you began to insult me and my husband. You laughed at our clothes, our home, and our child. One day, Adiola, my only child, was sick. She had pneumonia. The doctor said we needed 3 million naira. We ran to you, crying, begging for help. But you mocked us, called us names. You said if my husband was not man enough to take care of his family, that is none of your business, and then you chased us away like dogs. 3 days later, Adiola, my only daughter, died. My loving husband, Babatunde, couldn't take the pain. He suffered stroke and died a week later. I hated you, Dabira. I hated you with every breath in my body. I cried every night, asking God to show you the pain I felt. I cursed you. I did." Dabira collapsed to her knees. "I am sorry. I was a monster. Please forgive me. Please help me save what's left of my life. I am truly sorry." The room fell silent, and for a moment Amaka saw the genuineness in her plea. "Dabira, you truly hurt me with your words and action. But this will serve as a lesson to all that thinks they can say anything they like to anyone without thinking twice. Well, I forgive you. For Adiola's sake, I forgive you. And I pray you will recover all you have lost." That same night, Koinsola spoke her first word in weeks. Mommy! Dabira bursted into tears. She called Pastor Elijah, who laughed on the phone. It is done. In the weeks that followed, her business slowly revived. Her husband returned. Koinsola recovered completely. Dabira never insulted anyone again. She gave generously with humility. She started a foundation in Adeola's name to help sick children in poor families. She even gave back to the slum community. Not with pride, but with grace. She became a changed woman. The moral lesson of the story is that pride and rudeness can destroy everything you love. The way we treat others can come back to us, good or bad. Being rich is not an excuse to talk down on others, and a soft word brings peace, but a harsh word brings pain. Never mock someone's condition. You don't know tomorrow, and even the smallest person deserves respect. There is power in apology. It can heal even the deepest wound. Don't wait until everything is gone before you change. Be careful of who you hurt, especially with your words, because God sees everything, even the pain of those we ignore. And in the end, let your words always be kind and full of love. You never know whose heart you're touching. The end.